welcome, welcome, welcome. Hawaii, the endless summer. Florida and Hawaii, the endless summers. Just the sky, there we go. Yes, Hawaii, the endless summer. Except we start in Florida. Hawaii, the endless summer, starting with Miami. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Here at the base for marlin fishing. So, I'm going to, this is just a fact-finding stream. I'm only going to stream for about an hour or so. I'm going to just gather some data about this game, particularly just day one. There's a few things I'm going to make notes about to try to see if I can get a handle on the kind of hidden level up and experience system this game has. Also, I'm going to go with No Name, which I just think is hilarious. I used to say No Name, because I kind of suspected that this was a Japanese game. Okay, so the weather's clear. So one of the things I'm going to check about to see is whether or not setting the depth of your lure actually makes a difference on clear and not clear days. I'm also going to see about, I'm going to be doing some save stating and loading. Okay, so it's I and P. To try to figure out when the game determines what the winner is going to do. So I'm looking at the winning fish weight. This is not going to be me. 369. So let me see if I can... Yeah, load should be P. There we go. 369. And I kind of know what range the numbers are for the winning weight. But I just want to see when they change it. Because it may be determined when you first start. 369. Okay, so I may just kind of poke around with some things and then go back and weigh and see if it's determined there as well. So see if it stays at 369. Might try to catch a fish here. So maybe I will select the depth. I always want it to be 100, but let's see if I can get it to middle. So it's a clear day, so middle depth in the morning is what the and the lure. I'm just going to leave it at feather. There's a few things that I was reading the manual. There's a few things that the manual says that I want to actually test their veracity. I want to see if they actually make a difference in how the game behaves. So maybe I'll try catching just like a fish, just catch something, and then go back to that weigh in and see if it still is 369. So see if I can just catch one of these schooling fish. Should be pretty easy. Sorry about that sound. I'm just going to try to horse this fish in. No, I can't really horse him in too much because I've got the... Oh yeah, I didn't change my line weight either. Apparently you're supposed to get more experience if you were using a lighter line strength. Should be able to get him in pretty quickly here now. That sound I know is awful, but we're just going to have to deal with it because it's the blue marlin. So I'm going to go back to port now and see... Whatever. I'm going to go back to port and see if it's still 369, because that's one thing I want to make a note of, is if the winning weight is determined right there, right at the beginning, or if it's based on a RNG factor. So I'll weigh my Dorado 201. Look at that, nice. All right, and so yeah, you can go out. It looks like. So is it a different dude? I can't remember if that's the same dude or not. 369 is still the weight. Okay, so it looks like the winning fish weight is determined right at the beginning. All right, so we're set there. Here we got another clear day, but I'm going to bop it back. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of save stating and loading. I am going to move it up to 160, 100. I'll keep the feather on. We're still a clear day back here, so I'm going to go down to 40 feet. Okay, so I'm going to make some notes about how I do at different times of day and how my experience totals go. I'm going to check just keep a note of the poundage of fish that I catch and when I get levels up with different line strengths to see if that really does make a difference. I'm also, trying out that going mid-depth on the clear day in the morning and then switching to deep during midday. Because according to the manual, which again I'm not sure if I can trust, according to the manual, you're supposed to have better luck on clear days with medium depth in the morning and evening and deep depth in midday. So far, though, I'm having trouble just locating a school behind which to raise a billfish. There's also some weird translation things in the manual, because these fish that are in the schools, it says you will get no points for these fish, but I don't know if that means you'll get no experience points or if they're not worth anything for the tournament. I mean, I know they're not worth anything for the tournament. I know that. All right. Okay, so I made a good choice on the jump. Let me make a note of that here. Okay. Pause the game. 8:20. Good call. Jump. Because I'm also trying to keep a note of how I make decisions on those, because there's another stat you can level up that's involved with that. Cool. So this is going to be an easy fight. Get him in so he doesn't try to cut the line. Okay. 200 pounds. Alright, so I've got a 200 pounder. Can I get the time easier? 140. Yeah, the time of day would actually be a lot more handy. Yeah. Okay, 623. 623. That would be a lot more handy in this. If I could get it just in the pause screen, get the time of day without having to watch. Did I write down a different time with the during the battle scene there? I don't know. You'll also notice this game is very, very, very laggy. Very laggy indeed. So yeah, I'm going to make a note of when I level stats up, and I'm going to try it for now just with catching billfish. But I'm going to see if I can get experience points for catching these smaller fish. Alright, I get a little bonus here, but this must mean this fish is very small. Oh, never mind. Except he's still tired. I just kind of lost a bunch of line, but he's still exhausted. That's the two sweat marks down there on the fish means he's exhausted. Okay, sailfish. Okay, 200 pounds. Okay, and what time is it now? 6:33. 6:33. All right. Because one of the stats it says you level up by catching big fish, and then another stat it says you level up by catching just lots of fish. Just the sheer number of fish you pull in is supposed to improve one of the stats, and then the size of fish you catch is supposed to improve the other one. But again, I don't know if those are translation errors. They may be correct. Maybe they're errors. Also, as we've learned from a lot of these games, they might be bugged and ineffective. They might be bugged and not working. So I have played a lot of this game, but all of my quote-unquote knowledge of the game has just been experiential. So here's a non-marlin fish, ooh, of a decent size. So maybe I will pull it in. Normally, I would cut the line on this, but I want to see. I'll make a note of this fish also. See if I do get some XP for this, because I can't remember if you can level up on the non-billfish. If that's the case, a speed run might include catching some of these easy to raise, easy to hook, easy to bring in fish. If they give you just as much experience as the marlins do, we're looking for playing this game through as quickly as possible. We might level up with some of these guys before we even go after a billfish. Now I'm running out of vitality here, but this fish is almost in. You can see I'm pretty slow on the pullback. Let's see if I can get him in. Come on. Can I get him in? 3, 2, oh, 3, 4, 3. Oh, look at this. Now if this is a marlin, he would be trying to cut the line on my he'd be trying to cut the line on the motor prop. Alright, let's see if I can get him in here now. I've got at least got enough to reel. Nope, not quite enough to reel. This is going to be a sizable fish, whatever it is, but because it's not a marlin, these fish don't present you with the challenges, the wow, did you see him jump, the oh boy, I got that. That's too bad. That means I just lost a random big chunk of line. They don't do the things like jumping. They don't do the things like trying to cut the line on the prop. They don't do the things like the tail walk. There's a lot of random things they don't do that you have to make a choice on. Ah, I can't believe I had him to win within 3 feet, but I just ran out of vitality. So now I might not be able to bring this fish in because my vitality is, I can't get it, I can't recover it. And time's going by quickly here, but I can't, my character physically cannot reel this fish in. I might try to reverse the boat here, see if that'll make it easier, but it doesn't seem to make it all that easier. So I'm trying to rest up here again. So when you're resting, the fish is also resting, is the problem. Whenever you take a rest, the fish takes a rest. See, so I've got, yeah, my reversing the boat really let that fish recover quite quickly. And that it does say in the manual that reversing the boat, it says it makes it easier for you to reel. I am just going to cut the line because I'm not going to be able to get this guy in. It does say that it makes it easier for you to reel. I haven't noticed that it makes it all that much easier to reel, and so that mechanic might not work. There's a couple dudes karate fighting on the beach. So I don't know if that mechanic works as well as it's supposed to. I haven't really broken into the ROM because I'm not skilled in that kind of work, breaking into ROMs and looking at values and things. But I have noticed that the fish does rest quite a bit and gains a lot of its own strength back. Okay. Alright, so this one should be catchable. I'm able to get a decent pull whenever I pull back. You notice whenever I pull back, I can get a few feet in before it slows down. That's kind of the standard way to play a fish in this game, is pull back and then reel in the slack. Now I got pretty good luck with hooking the fish because you see this fish is hooked very solidly. You see the fish icon down in the bottom. Alright, now he's in range of trying to cut, so I need to just try to get him in quick. Alright, so I almost got him in before we do this. Whenever they get inside of like 30 feet, they have a chance to do this. So you really want to rush them in that last little bit. Because now I've got this. Now what will I do? I can choose one of these. Okay, so I'll have to make a note that I made that choice correctly. Now they can do that again right away if you get bad luck. They can do that right away. Alright, what's this one? Okay, 200. Body strength C. Alright, so my third fish, Body strength C. You go from D to C to B to A to double A. Body strength C. So it's my third fish, my 600th pound of fish at 160. Okay, third fish, 600 pound of fish, it's 160 pound line. Okay, I'm looking for a better way to gather this data, but for now we're going to go with what we've got here. And I guess I probably could be noting, maybe I can check it on VODs later if I want to really gather a lot of data. I can gather what kinds of fish I've caught, although I can do that when we weigh in. I can make a note of all of that stuff. I can also make a note of their actual weights too. Although I guess I can test to see if that's randomly determined or if that's determined right when you catch the fish, or if that's determined at the pier. Although my guess is, because I know the winning fish from today is going to be 369, probably the actual weight of the fish that you catch is determined when you catch it. That's my guess based on what I just found there. Alright, so I raised a billfish behind this school. I've got to hook it. Alright. Alright, so this one's a little bit bigger, I can tell, because I gained that level up, but it's still pretty difficult to pull in. Also, you've got body strength and muscle power, and neither of them are very descriptive. And they're so bad, in fact, I can't remember off the top of my head which one does which. One of them allows you to pull in larger fish faster, and then one of them allows your vitality to go down a little bit more slowly. And the way to really do this would be to get in and find where all the values are for those things, for all those addresses, for where your levels are, what the rates are for things. But I'm not smart enough to do that, so I'm just going to be gathering data here the old-fashioned way. Alright, let's get this guy in without an event. Can we do it? Yes, we did. So I've gotten 2 events correct. I forgot to make a note of that event. Good call, motor. Because you can get levels up in that. Ooh, nice, 400 pounds. Alright, so at the third fish, I got my level. So the way to check that would be to just try to catch 3 fish and see if I get that level up there again, or see how many pounds of fish it takes. So that's kind of the numbers that I'm gathering here in this one. So maybe for this first day I'll just do billfish, and maybe I'll do another day 1. Alright. And I could, I guess, be keeping track of how often and how I get those little go-for-it things. Because if I can manipulate that, or if there's a trick that I'm doing that's triggering that. Because here's another nice one. Sailfish 400. Alright, and I'll just have to, I guess, keep an eye on the time during those fish fighting scenes. Now what you really want with these is you want what I call a bouncing school of fish. Neither of those were bouncing. As you can see, when they hit the edge of the screen, they just dissipated. But some schools will bounce, like the DVD logo on the DVD menu screen. If I can describe it any better than that, they bounce at a pool cue ball angle. They'll bounce at the complementary angle that they hit the wall from. And they're handy because you can just follow them for as long as you care to. There we go. Now this one's a really nice one. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get this one in without getting a lucky go for it. Because I can't actually get even a single foot in. And that's something that you can't really see what my inputs are. But I'm hitting the reel key after I pull back. And you can see it's still going backwards, but it's going backwards a little bit more slowly than before. So this fish is going to be too big for me to handle unless I get a really lucky event. So I'm going to try it though. By the way, either of those 400-pounders could potentially be game winners. Actually, almost certainly they will be game winners, because I know from checking that the winner of today's tournament is going to be 369. So either of those ones are going to probably be my day winner, because I do know this from experience. When you get a fish that gives you the estimate, it's between 50 pounds on either side of the estimate. So so it could be between 350 and 450, or whether maybe it's like 351 and 450, and then the next ones are 451. I guess I don't know that specifically. So more than likely, if you get one that's about 400 pounds, that's going to be your game winner. Although sometimes the winner on this first day is going to be like a 400 somethinger. And see, I've tired the fish out here by rocking back and forth, but I've also tired myself out. So I've actually got it to where I could do a little bit of reeling, but I burned up all my vitality in that. And I have yet to really find a way to bring in one of those kind of fish that are beyond your class outside of just getting good luck. You know, this one is hooked well, and you can, you know, maybe I'll try not rocking to see if that tires it out, because again, I don't trust any of the tips that are in the manual. I don't trust any of them, because here I'm outclassed by this fish again. This is probably about the same size as the last one. All right, so now I can get some I can make some headway on him, and he's hooked very solidly, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm worried about my vitality running out, and also the marlins will occasionally jump, as you can see. When it's not an event jump, they can occasionally just do a on-screen, on-fight jump that pulls 25 or 30 feet out from you. And they can do that no matter what state they're in, no matter what state you're in. I had him with double sweat marks, but now that I'm resting, he's resting, and that's a problem. And that's where I need my level ups, because if he jumps, he'll get it back to 100, and we'll be back where we started. Yeah, and I don't want him facing away from me. Yeah, because I've got to get him back to the sweat mark before I can even get an inch on him. There's a jump. So on some of these later days on the game, you actually have to start worrying about time, because catching those big ones are hard to find on the later days. And then, of course, they take a very long time to bring in. And if it gets to 4 p.m., even if you're fighting the fish that's going to be your game day winner, when that time rolls over to 1,600 hours, your day's over. And whatever you've got is whatever you've got. Alright, so I'm going to try another one. And that can happen. You can hook some unwanted fish that way. Alright, so this is another big one. So let's see if I can get a sweat mark on him and work him in a little bit quicker. I need to make better use of the sweat mark. So I'm just going to try and get the sweat mark by pulling him back. But he's got pretty high vitality, I can see, because he's not sweat marking. Maybe rocking will help. Oh, maybe rocking does help. See, these are mechanics that I never worried about before, because I was never really. There we go. You can do that. Cool. So that's how I need to do this, I think. I need to let more come in when it'll let me. Alright, so already we're learning new things. I've played this game for almost 20 years and we're already learning new things. But that's really sapping my vitality, so I'm wondering about that. That's really tapping me out to do that that rocking thing. That really zaps me out. Because these are I'm imagining these are bigger than the 400-pound fish. That's my guess with these guys. But if you know and you're watching, let me know. Alright, I might have to cut this one. Because I can make a little bit of headway. But my vitality is going to run down again before I get anywhere close. And then I'm wondering at what time of day should I switch to being deep on this clear day? Yeah. Gosh, I wanted to hook more of those 200-pounders and bring those in to see how quickly I can level up the whichever stat it is. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. The one that, according to the manual, you gain levels in when you just by catching lots of fish, not so much the big ones. Because that's the stat that I want to pick up that will help me get the bigger ones in, either by letting me pull them in or by giving me more endurance for my vitality. There's a whale. You can draw a fish up behind whales. And again, I don't know. Oh, there's another whale. Look at this. This whale's going to beach himself here in Palm Beach, Florida. Beautiful Palm Beach, Florida. We have a large whale coming into shallow water. He's in water a foot deep. And he bounces off at pool cue angle, just like bouncing schools do. And yes, you cannot hook these whales, nor can you motor over them. That will make them go down like that. But I'm gonna give up on that whale. Oh, you see, I'd raised the billfish with the lure behind them, but then when the school dissipated, the billfish went away. I'm glad that I got that on stream, because that's unlucky when that happens. When you raise a billfish behind a school, and then the school dissipates before the billfish bites. There we go. So I've raised a billfish behind this whale. There we go. Oh, and it's actually not a billfish, it's a tuna. And I'm not going to be dealing with tuna today. That's something the game throws in there to kind of trick you. Sometimes a fish that looks like a raised billfish behind a school will be a tuna. And that test is going to be for another day, I think, to test to see if the Dorados and Barracudas and tuna that you can hook will give you experience, even if they won't count towards your tournament winnings. And I might check the time here. It might technically be midday, according to this game, 10:46. Maybe I'll wait till 11 before I call it midday and move my lure down to deep instead of middle where it is now. There we go. Alright, here's another big one. Man. And he's not hooked well. So this is going to be another lost fish, just because I'm so under-leveled. I keep hooking these fish that are too big for my level. Going to maximize. Oh, see, there we go. This might happen again. Ah. And when you get close to the dock, there we go. All right, now this one looks doable. And I can usually tell right away with a fish by how quickly my character is able to pull back I played this game enough that I can usually tell right away if it's going to be a doable fish or not, or if it's going to be, you know, a tough bite. It's going to be close. But this one I can tell is going to be fine as long as I don't get bad luck with an event here inside of 30. Here we go. So if I guess wrong, I probably am going to lose this fish right away. Okay. But if you guess right, okay. Good call, motor. And what's the weight? 300. Body strength B. Okay. Okay, so it's my 6th fish. So maybe it is every 3 fish you get a body strength level up. It's also my 600. Okay. 600, and that's going to be 1,000, 1,400, 1,700. So it's my 1,700th pound of fish. So I've caught 1,700 pounds of fish. Yes. I still haven't got that muscle power level up, despite having caught 2 400s and a 300. So again, these hidden stats are kind of annoying because they're super important, but they're hidden, which makes them very inconvenient. And I should have opened the PDF of the manual so I could see, take a look at it. The thing with pulling back is that the fish is not hooked solidly. The hook starts to come out of their mouth when you're pulling back. And if you put too much pullback pressure on the fish, the hook will come out of its mouth. So that one, I could just about tell right away when it was already started in kind of like level 1 crisis level of hookage. I could already tell that it was going to be trouble. It's going to be difficult at best, because I wouldn't have a chance to lean back and rock back and forth to tire the fish out before it was almost pulled out of its mouth. So that's bad luck. More RNG. That's okay. That's okay. We can do it. We can do this. Can I get this one? Yeah, that was lucky hooking that last fish right there by the dock, because we had the going into a corner. Yes, you can troll backwards in this game. Trolling backwards is no problem. And yes, I just realized that trolling is a key component to this game. Very good. You can say I'm totally trolling this game right now. Totally trolling. I remember taking a very long time when I first had this game to figure out that you needed to place the lure behind these schools of fish, because the manual does a really poor job of explaining that part of the game. Okay, so here's another one where he's not hooked very well. So he's probably gonna... I'm gonna be pulling the hook out of his mouth as I try to tire him here. But I can't, without... body strength must be your vitality stat. Muscle power must be your ability to reel the larger fish, because I can't get the reel on him. Now that I've got one sweat bead, I can reel on him, which is nice. But yeah, sorry, I lost my sweat bead, so I can't get it anymore. As soon as you let up, they start resting. They start recovering as soon as you let up. And yeah, that one wasn't going to be a win. That one wasn't going to be a win. All right, I bet it's midday now, so I'm going to set it deep. I don't really know how I'm going to measure the effectiveness of setting the lure deep or shallow. Starts on float, then you can go 20, 40, 60, or 80 if you want. If if you don't want it floating. And again, according to the manual, here we're getting more of that famous blue marlin lag, because this game just cannot handle schools of fish on this screen. So it really lags a lot. That's not just my emulator lagging. Although my emulator will sometimes lag because I have a low-powered computer. So I will have some emulator lag, but a lot of that is just Blue Marlin Special, Blue Marlin lag, classic. The position of the sun up there is supposed to be a factor in the game, according to the manual. Again, haven't tested it, but it says if you're trolling into the sun, the fish may be blinded by the sunlight, decreasing the chance of a strike, which is very weirdly translated, as is almost all of the manual. There's a lot of spelling errors in it too, which is nice. Like this Nintendo seal of quality, here we go. You get a poorly translated manual with obvious typos. And I understand typos in the game are very difficult to proofread. So when you see weird localizations in the game file, I understand. But in the manual, it's not that hard to proofread a manual. Back in '91, they had computers with spell check. Alright, I have got nothing since setting it to deep. So, I don't know what that's about. I've not been able to raise a fish, and just for the purposes of scientific accuracy, I'm keeping my lure the same. I'm going to keep the feather lure all day here in this one. And you cannot motor through a school, or they will dissipate and that billfish would go away. Alright, this is another big one. So let's see if I can get a sweat mark on him. Come on. See, I've got enough vitality now finally to deal with it. So if I had gotten those fish before with vitality level where it is, I could have pulled those guys in because I had solid hookings. Oh, here we go. You should just hear this. This is the shark music. I may actually be able to catch this one. But this is my favorite music of the game. This game is great music. This is awesome music. I'm going to try not to let my line clink, so it doesn't take off that great bass line, the shark music. And I'll shut up too. Here we go. Because we didn't get to hear it quite twice all the way through. See? Okay. Alright, I guess I'm glad I did that because, okay, shark 400, and it's muscle power level C. Alright, so that must be the other stat for pulling in bigger fish. So that makes it now my 2100th pound of fish at that one. So maybe it's 2,000 pounds of fish or X number of fish over a certain level. This is what I'm trying to figure out. This is what I'm gathering here. But confirmed that sharks can do it. So I thought that was the case when the manual told me things like you get no points for this prehistoric beast, which is what I think it says in the manual, which is pretty funny. It also says that about the barracudas and the dorados, which are the other kinds of fish that can be in the schools here. So I should talk about the types of fish. So in the schools, these can be dorado, which are also called dolphin, Also sometimes called mahi-mahi. So dorado, dolphin fish, mahi-mahi. Those things, those big bright green, yellow, and blue things with the square heads. It can be those, it can be barracudas, or it can be sharks in those schools. And then the billfish sprite that you can raise behind these schools can be... I raised one, but right at the edge. Can be a tuna, which is not... And so those fish aren't worth anything in the tournament. Tuna are also not worth anything for the tournament, or it can be a billfish. And the billfish are blue marlin, black marlin, striped marlin, swordfish, and sailfish. Okay, did you get all that? Blue, black, striped marlin, or swordfish, or sailfish. And I have, I don't know, I have lots of them. A couple of sailfish I know for sure. I don't know if I have maybe a black marlin and a blue marlin in this one. And those fish are all supposed to prefer different kinds of bait. Here we go. Nice. Alright, see if I can get him in the rest of the way here. Yes. Alright. Let me make a note. This one, 300 pounds. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have kept that shark. I should have thrown that shark out, because I think once your storeroom is full, then you're done for the day. So I shouldn't have kept that shark. Although you can get an official weight on those non-billfish if you keep them. All right, so this guy's a big one. I think, yeah, even with the muscle power level up, I won't be able to move him. So I've got to try to tire him out. But again, with these, you've got to deal with the hook problem. But as soon as I let off, then the hook starts to work its way back in, which is obviously not realistic. But then the fish gets to rest during those times. So this one, even with my higher muscle power, it's like I'm leveling up, but I keep hooking these fish that are beyond my capability. And I'll have to make a note and see if that's always going to be the case on day one here. See if that's consistently the case. And so far I've only been doing Palm Beach because in my opinion it's the easiest level to actually navigate. Another interesting thing is that the physical layouts of these levels get more difficult as the game goes on, which is, I mean... Alright, here's a tuna. So you can tell right away the music is different. And then also, of course, it does not have the big dorsal fin coming out of the water. Glad I got a bonus there. Now we can just finish this fight quickly. Okay, 400-pound tuna. 400-pound tuna and body strength A. Body strength A. Alright, so... So it's reliably been then every third fish. Every third fish, and I guess that includes sharks. Every third fish will get you a body strength upgrade. Every third fish. Well, that's good to know, because that's a stat that could be very easily brought up to speed by catching some of the small dorado and barracuda. So if that really is the case, if it's just I need 3 fish for each level, that's great to know. That's the kind of info I was looking for today. And now some of these fish, I'm going to keep them kind of on the edge of my line clinking, so it's going to sound kind of annoying. Alright. Get him in. Alright. Okay, 300. Alright, I'm just making a note of that. I'm not going to keep that one because I want to keep my day going as long as I can. What time is it in the game? I know what time it is in real life. 13:30. Okay, it's actually oops, sorry. It's 1:30 in the game. I have till 4 p.m. game time. I'm not sure if game time moves faster in the trolling screen or in the fight screen. It seems to move pretty quickly in the fight screen. So it might go faster while you're fighting a fish, because sometimes those fish battles can take like an hour of game time really quickly. And I don't know if the time goes by quite the same in the trolling screen here. But yeah, the reason I'm in Palm Beach is because there are no obstacles here in the level. It's just wide open water, and it's just kind of a nice, mostly horizontal layout. This one is very big. This is in the biggest class of fish I've had all day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to move it at all. I mean, that's it. That's all I can move it. And then my line gets singing. So even at 160, that's all I can move this fish. At line strength 160. So I'm not gonna bring this guy in. That's just to save me a bunch of heartache. Your max line is 512. So if the fish gets you to 512, they literally pull every last bit of line out of your reel and you lose the fish. So those kinds of fights where you're just not moving them, they can really go on forever, with the fish just slowly gaining line and slowly gaining line until you're finally out. So with these schools of fish, you cannot motor over them, but you can coast over them. So if I release the motor button, if I release the A button, just before the boat goes over them, I can actually cross over top of them without scattering them, which you have to do sometimes. See, like right there, had I motored right on through, I would have scattered them. These are nice schools to run into, especially if this one's bouncing. If you want to try out some different baits and different depths, these are nice to bounce around on, but I'm not going to be changing bait or depth. There we go. Here's another one. So it's 14:12, so we still have a couple hours. We have till 1600, which is 4 o'clock, for those of you not using the 24-hour time. Okay, 200-pound black marlin, 200-pound. Alright, so if my calculations are correct, the next fish ought to get me to body strength AA. Unless to get to AA you have to catch more of it. So far, every third fish has got me a body strength level, and that definitely appears to be the vitality level, the one that lets you have a little more endurance. Not necessarily getting the fish in, because I would like to write and link to kind of a mini FAQ on my stream here if I'm going to be working on getting good times or getting good fish, because maybe I can set some fish records, some fish size records. Maybe I can mark my PB fish of each species. My best blue marlin, my best black marlin, my best shark. Who knows? Who knows? Come on. See, this is one of those battles that could be a big, painful, drawn-out battle if I don't get some luck, because I'm right on the edge of being able to really move him. And the problem there is that he's not hooked very well. That's the issue. Because otherwise I could just put the pull on him, get the sweat speed, but I can't. So that's bad luck on the hooking. And these fish that move at those really shallow angles are very tough to follow on your boat. It's hard to position your boat at the angle to keep the lure behind them. And for beginners, it recommends you have a longer line behind your boat. I've got to set it at 100, which is as short as you can set it, because I'm skilled enough at driving the boat that I can get the lure behind the fish school without spooking them. So this is a good one. And a good one means it's decent sized, but it's within my ability level to pull him in. He's also hooked very well, and now I get that nice bonus of go for it. You notice that I usually stop right around 30 to try to pull him in the last little bit. Oh, a 500 blue marlin. Alright, and let's see if body strength goes up. Double A. Okay. So that's maxed out now. Body strength double A, that's maxed out. Now let's see if I get a muscle power. No, I don't get a muscle power, which is very interesting. I'll have to do the math on that. I think, so I'm recording these on pen and paper right now. I think when I gather this data, I'm going to I'll put together a spreadsheet or something that I can save this and analyze it a little bit better. I still haven't quite decided how I want to do that yet. And I'm actually getting fairly close to the end of time that I have for today. There's one behind the seagull. Nice. I don't know if fish behind seagulls are inherently any better or worse than other ones, but sorry about the clinking. But I need it as an audio cue. Alright, so I'm gonna get that hook back in him just a little bit better. There we go. Ah! All that work. And they will do that periodically. These billfish will do that periodically. But I don't know if I'm going to get this one in with my standard fish reeling strats. 121 is where I started that one. Yeah, I'm going to lose line here. 28. Yeah. I think he's going to pull me out, and I have less than an hour left, so I'm going to try to get one more fish in before this tournament day is over. So I think what I'll do, I'll probably stream until they call me in on this tournament day. And you can go in early, as you saw me doing before, and I'm going to win this tournament day. But you can go in early. Here I got a nice start on this one. I guess I got a pretty nice start on that last one too. Ah. He jumped right as I was timing a reel, which is too bad because you miss out on the chance to do that. Okay, cool. If I make a good choice here, maybe I'll get a level up on the decision making. Okay, so I did not make the right choice, which is totally random, but you can level up that stat as to how often you get those correct or not by making correct choices and then landing that fish while making correct choices. Which, see, it seems very unfair and very, very random, which it is. There's a lot of random things in this game that over which you have no control. Lots of random things that you can't do anything about in this game. And I got off to such a great start, but I tried to horse him in too quickly. I think I wasted some of his hook value before he did that big jump. and pulled me out. And then he did the non-event jump, and then he did the event jump, and that made me lose even more line. And I think I'm gonna try my best to get this one in, but I actually might run out of daylight here. Oh, there's another big jump. Another thing with these fish, and I need to, yeah, there we go. Need to also see if they have sweat beads on them, they may jump less often. Because I find, like, with big fish like that, they jump at kind of regular intervals, and they'll take a kind of prescribed amount of line when they jump at those regular intervals. So you've just basically got to get line in faster than that, while preserving your hook value and also your own character's vitality. So there's actually a lot to consider in this game. There's a lot happening, even though it looks pretty basic. Those fish fights are quite deep, because you've got a lot to pay attention to, and then plus lots of RNG to deal with, which is sad, but it's going to be a fact of life. Alright, so knowing that... There we go. See, I ran out of time mid-fight. Okay, so let's take a look at these guys. Alright, I've got striped sailfish. I'm gonna let this go so I can get a screen cap of it, actually. There we go. I'll get a screen cap of today. Try to speed these up if I can. Okay, so there's a tournament winner. 358 was not going to be the day winner, but that last one, white shark. See, those ones don't get a weighing animation. 420. Here's my 300-pound blue marlin. 340. And this is gonna. I mean, this will be my biggest one of the day, I believe. Here we go, 457. So almost 100 pounds larger than the next place player. Yeah, so time is up. I can't go fishing again today. Weighing, we should be all out of fish. Yes. All right. Now I get to see my character. This is your character in this game. This little dude. So I got my 457, and you get your password for the next day. So if you really work this game, you can level yourself up, because had I not won, you can fish again the same tournament and keep your stats. So I think the game is built to let you fail and try again, so that if you just really keep hammering away, you'll eventually finish. You'll eventually get to the end, having leveled your character up all the way. So that's very interesting about I've got some good data here. Because on the 12th fish, or the 15th fish, I guess, I'll have to look at that. I got my body strength level. So this is the second day. This is my favorite fishing level music. So I can't even remember which one I picked, and I didn't look at the weather conditions either on this one, so I'm not going to be testing that. But I'll make some notes about clear. I did mid for everything for this day. So for my data recording of this day, I'll have to make note of that. While I'll make a spreadsheet or something that'll let me look at that, because I want to gather a lot of data to take a look at this. And maybe there'll be some cheats where I can even see what the size of the fish is going to be. Maybe even when you hook it, even before you reel it in, you can see what the size of your fish is. I don't know. We'll see. Lots to do in this game. Lots to do. Lots to do. Let me finish with just a little bit of